I'm Miles Carter, and I'm here to speak out loud what you've been carrying in silence. When I was 22, I was dating a girl who, at the time, felt like everything I ever wanted. Beautiful, smart, that spark in her eyes type. The kind of girl who walks into a room and suddenly the whole place lights up. I was the guy who opened doors, brought her coffee, remembered how she took her tea, and never forgot a single date. I was the nice guy. So nice, in fact, I forgot about myself. I believed if I did everything right, she'd stay. She'd love me. She'd appreciate it. But each day, I could feel her getting bored. She never said it out loud. But the glances got shorter. The words got colder. And one day, I saw her smiling at her phone. Not at me. Someone else. And I knew. I lost to a guy who didn't even try to be good. He was fun, reckless, loud, bright. He didn't hold doors. He held attention. That's when I first asked myself, maybe the problem was, I tried too hard? I remember one time, a weekend getaway with friends. We were heading out of town to grill, chill, and just hang out. I did everything. Bought the food, drove across the city to pick someone up, filled up the gas, even packed the grill. And when we got there, it was like I wasn't even there. Everyone broke off into their own little cliques, laughing, talking. I floated around asking, "You want something grilled?" "You good?" They said, "Thanks bro, you're the best." And went right back to their convos like I was the cook, not the friend. I sat off to the side, watched the fire crackle in the grill and realized something. I thought being easy and helpful would make me wanted. Instead, I became invisible. And it wasn't just that day. It's been my whole life, always saying yes, always adjusting, swallowing pain, smiling through discomfort. Because I thought being nice meant people would stay. But truth is, people respect those who speak up, who say no, who live by their own rules, not yours. That was the first time I really asked myself, why am I like this? Why am I scared to be real? I'm not weak. I just wanted to be accepted. But acceptance without self-respect comes at too high a cost. If you keep bending, they stop seeing you. You're no longer a person. You're a function. And the day you finally say no, they'll be shocked, maybe mad, because they got used to your silence. When you finally start living your own way, you lose a lot. But for the first time, you start to find yourself. I remember the first time I really did something my way. No approval. No permission. It was in my third year of college. We had to submit a psychology project. Everyone went the usual route. Slides, research, boring statistics. But me, I wrote a story. A fictional story. About loneliness. About a person living someone else's life just to please others. About how your identity slowly dies when you constantly adjust for everyone else's comfort. The professor didn't know what to say at first, but she gave me top marks. My classmates, not so much. They laughed. "Bro, you a novelist now? Trying too hard?" One even said straight up, "That's not how it's done." And here's the crazy part, I got scared. Even though I got the highest grade, even though I felt like I finally did something real, I was afraid of not fitting in. But that was the first time I tasted freedom. It's bitter, and it's not for everybody. As long as you play by the rules, people pat your head. But the moment you break out, you're the outcast, the weirdo, the threat. You start realizing they never liked the real you. They liked the version of you that made them feel comfortable. And you know what? That was the first step toward me, toward realizing that other people's opinions are just noise, loud, sarcastic, sometimes close to the heart. But if you start dancing to it, you'll forget the beat inside you. Being yourself sounds nice, but nobody tells you. It hurts, because the moment you start saying no, wearing what you want, choosing your own path, you suddenly become difficult. First, it's small stuff. You skip a party, they get offended. You don't laugh at their jokes, now you're uptight. You don't agree with some popular idea, now you're an outsider. Then it gets bigger. You start a business, they say you got arrogant. You skip holidays to grind, now you're greedy or crazy. You think too much, you're weird. And then you're standing in a room full of people you once called friends, and you realize you're different. You're alone. But here's the twist. That's the moment you become real. No masks. No fake laughs. No need to perform. And yeah, it's hard. It's a risk. Being yourself isn't some trendy Instagram slogan. It's a choice. And sometimes a painful one. But it's the only path. If you want to be loved for who you really are. And be ready. Some people will leave. Most will. But the ones who stay, they'll stay not because you're easy, but because you're you. Being yourself is a risk. But you know what stings the most? When someone leaves you not because you were wrong, but because you were real. I had a girl. We were together for years. I thought, she's the one. But then I started to change. Became more honest. Said I didn't want the script. Didn't want a mortgage. Didn't want to fake a life just to fit in. First, she listened. Then she got angry. And one day she said, "You're not the same anymore. It scares me." And she left. For someone simpler. With a 9 to 5, a car, a 5-year plan. And I stayed behind. It hurt. Bad. I doubted everything. A year later, she texted me. Said, "I made a mistake. You were real. He's just safe." She said she couldn't breathe in that life. That she missed being herself with me. But by then, I had changed. I had grown. I had found me. See, man. When you choose to be yourself, you risk ending up alone. But if you don't, you guarantee losing who you are. You don't owe the world your obedience. You don't owe people your silence. You don't have to be easy to love. Your job is to be alive. Fully. Loudly. Truthfully. Yeah, some will leave. But someone eventually will say, "I've been waiting for someone exactly like you." And that will be worth everything you lost. Thanks for listening. I needed to say it. Maybe you needed to hear it.